They could not bribe him. They could not corrupt him. They could not find a single fault in him. So they chose another way. They would feed him to lions. Daniel was no longer a young man. The boy, once taken captive from Judah, had become an old man in a foreign empire. Kingdoms had risen. Kingdoms had fallen. Babylon was gone. Now the Medes and Persians ruled the earth. And through it all, Daniel remained. King Darius took control of the kingdom. To govern such a vast empire, he appointed 120 satraps, official rulers over the provinces. Over them, he placed 3 administrators, and Daniel was one of the 3. But Daniel was different. He was wise, disciplined, faithful, trustworthy, and because an excellent spirit was in him, he rose above them all. Soon, the king planned to place Daniel over the entire kingdom. The other officials saw it, and they hated it. How could this foreign exile rise above them? How could this old Hebrew command their respect? How could the king trust Daniel more than them? Jealousy began to burn, so they searched for dirt. They examined records. They watched his work. They listened for lies. They looked for corruption, but they found nothing. No scandal, no dishonesty, no negligence, no weakness. Daniel was clean, and that made them hate him even more. Then one of them said, "We will never find any charge against this man, unless it has something to do with the law of his God." So they formed a plan, not to attack Daniel's character, but Daniel's faith. They rushed together to King Darius, with flattering words, with smiling faces, with poison behind their lips. "O King Darius, live forever. All the officials have agreed." That was a lie. Daniel had not agreed. That the king should issue a decree. For 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or any man except you, O king, shall be thrown into the lion's den. The king listened. Persian kings loved honor, power, praise, and according to the law of the Medes and Persians, once sealed, it could not be changed. So Darius signed it. The trap was set. Daniel heard the decree. He knew exactly what it meant. This was no ordinary law. This was aimed at him. He had a choice: stay silent for 30 days, hide his faith, protect his life, or remain faithful publicly. Daniel did what he had always done. He went to his house, upstairs, to the room with windows open toward Jerusalem. He knelt 3 times that day and prayed, giving thanks to God, just as he had done before. No panic, no compromise, no performance, just faithfulness. The conspirators were waiting. They rushed in, and there he was, Daniel, on his knees, praying. They ran back to the king. "O king, did you not sign a decree that anyone who prays to any god or man except you for 30 days must be thrown to the lions?" The king answered, "The matter stands." Then they struck. Daniel, one of the exiles from Judah, pays no attention to you, O king. He still prays 3 times a day. The moment Darius heard it, his heart sank. He had been used. This was never about loyalty. It was about Daniel. Darius worked until sunset to rescue Daniel. He searched for loopholes, exceptions, legal escape, but the officials pressed harder. "Remember, O king, no decree or law the king establishes can be changed." The king was trapped by his own pride, and Daniel would pay the price. The command was given. Daniel was brought forward, an old man, faithful for decades, now condemned for prayer. They led him to the den. The growls of lions echoed in the darkness. The king said to Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." Daniel was lowered down into the pit, into the shadows, into the mouths of death. A stone was rolled over the entrance, sealed with the king's signet. No one would interfere, no one would enter, no one except God. Back at the palace, Darius could not eat. He refused an entertainment. Sleep fled from him. The king tossed in regret, while Daniel rested in faith. All night long, the palace was restless, but the den was not. At first light, the king rose and hurried to the lion's den. His voice trembled as he called out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" Silence. Then a voice answered from below, "May the king live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent before him. And before you, O king, I have done no wrong." The king erupted with joy. Daniel was alive. They pulled Daniel from the den. Not a wound on him, not a scratch, not a bite, because he had trusted in his God. The same lions, the same night, the same den, but faith changed everything. Then the king commanded that the men who falsely accused Daniel be brought forward. They, their families, and their households were thrown into the den. Before they reached the floor, the lions overpowered them. The plot they built for another became their own destruction. Then King Darius wrote to all peoples, nations, and languages, "Peace be multiplied to you. I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom people must fear and reverence the God of Daniel, for he is the living God. He endures forever. His kingdom shall never be destroyed. He rescues, he saves, he performs signs and wonders. He has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions." So Daniel prospered under Darius and under Cyrus the Persian. Empires changed, kings changed, laws changed, enemies changed, but Daniel's God did not. When integrity gives your enemies no weapon, they may attack your faith. Pray anyway. When the law says bow, stand anyway. When lions wait in the dark, trust anyway, because the God who shut their mouths then still rules now. If this story moved you, subscribe for more cinematic Bible stories. And remember, they threw him to lions, but they could not destroy him.